Hi, welcome back to Good Evening KU. I'm Mackenzie Laporte.
And I'm Caroline Zimmerman.
So, how has your first month being back at school and back on campus been?
It has been super busy, busier than I expected it to be.
Yeah. And do you have any online or in-person classes?
I'm hybrid, but I'd say most of my classes are in person.
That's good. Most of mine are online, so I'm just sitting in my house on my online classes, and I would much rather be in person, but I am doing a lot better than last semester. Last semester was super difficult for me to try and get into the flow of being online, and which I've never done before, and now I have like more of the hang of it. So but I would much rather be in person with my teachers. It's just like a different vibe. You like play off of each other, and it's just easier to pay attention, honestly.
I think it's difficult being a freshman and having to experience that, because not only are you trying to kind of get the hang of in-person classes, you're also kind of forced to get the hang of online classes, and you don't know what a regular semester looks like.
Exactly. And since you are a second semester freshman now, how was your first semester with COVID and everything going on?
It was really difficult, especially, since we had the last part of our senior years also gone. It's just been a really long time since we've seen the inside of a classroom. And that goes for everyone, but
yeah,
especially for us, it's just been a really rough adjustment period.
Yeah, I did feel really bad for you guys when you were seniors, because it hit everyone, but you guys were seniors. You were celebrating the end of high school, and you couldn't even do it in the proper way of what we wanted it to be. And then you come in thinking, oh, college, woo, and then we're, hybrid or all online, a little in person. But it was probably just such a huge struggle to try and get used to things and kind of push yourself like through it all and be like, we'll get there. Because as a junior, it was even difficult for me. I was like, I've already had my freshman and sophomore year, pretty normal, and I still was struggling. So,
Definitely. I feel like if everyone can get through this year, then we can get through anything. Like, we're good. We're ready to go.
Exactly. Especially with the vaccine coming out, and, little by little, more and more people will be opened up to that, which is great. And hopefully we will have a great next start to our next semester next year, which will be, and everyone will hopefully have a great rest of the semester this year too. But so you have been working for the Kansan ever since you came in freshman year?
I have. I pretty much immediately started working for the Kansan, and this semester I've worked my way up to the associate news editor. So
that's huge. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So in high school, did you, work for your high school newspaper or anything like that?
I did, only for 1 year though.
Oh wow, that's awesome. What do you like to write about mostly?
My big interest is politics, and I also like writing about crime.
Okay.
Which sounds kind of morbid.
Yeah,
but
I love the criminal shows.
It's an interesting topic.
Yes, for sure. Exactly. Some people are a little more hesitant with it, because it is triggering and scary and everything. But
it is.
Oh, it's really interesting. So that's good. How did you learn about the Kansan? Did you just want to jump right in college? And
yeah, so I took my visit last year actually right before COVID happened, and they kind of introduced me to a couple people on the Kansan, and so I already had those connections. And when I joined, I was like, I need to do something this year, and so why not just get right in there and start doing it?
Yeah, I feel like it can be really intimidating when you're a freshman coming to a whole new campus. Some people are out of state, in-state, whichever, and everyone tells you jump right in, and some people are a little more taken back by it and want to ease their way into things. But I think it's huge that you just took initiative and jumped right in.
It was really overwhelming. But I'm glad I did it, because now, that's more experience for the future, and it's really fun, and I love doing it. And my goal this semester is to kind of get more freshmen to kind of jump into that. So.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And it's great that you have the experience of jumping right in, because as scary it may be, it pays off. Every year, you just move up and move up. So, the more experience you have in anything that you're interested in doing is going to help you. But yeah, it's nice though. This week has been really great. Last week it was a little like a little bummer because of how cold it was. I mean, I just like locked myself up in my bedroom pretty much. But I mean, this week it's like in the 60s and it feels like it's summer.
It's so sunny.
Yeah, I walked to class or like walked here today on campus and I was like, it's so hot. Like,
right.
I'm in pants and everything, but I just like was like, it feels like summer.
Yeah, the dorm I live in, we're having window issues.
Oh.
So when it was really cold, we had cold air seeping through our windows.
Yeah.
Our heat was at like 80 or 90.
Oh, jeez.
And so now that it's all kind of done and it's warm, we're having trouble getting the heat down. So now we're all sweating.
I mean, there was a ton of issues last week with people's pipes freezing and their heat and electricity going out for hours. I mean, my friends across the street from us had to come, or they were like asking people to come and stay in their houses because their house was so cold. But lucky enough, my house did not, I mean, nothing bad happened there. But so we're just looking forward to a very nice and warm week, and we are going to take a short break and we'll have the news next. Thank you.
Welcome back. My name is Julia Erminger, and I'm here with Brooke. Brooke, how are you feeling? She's here because she's been exposed to COVID, but I hear you're doing great, right, Brooke?
Yeah, so I was exposed to COVID about a week ago. I don't have any symptoms or anything. I'm just kind of, KU told me to isolate for 10 days, so I'm just waiting to finish isolation and to get my test results back. So hoping that they come back negative.
Okay, good. I know exactly how you feel. I was in the same boat last semester, which I'm sure, a couple other people at our school have had the same situation. I unfortunately actually did test positive for COVID and I had all these crazy symptoms. So I'm hoping that, you don't get the same experience that I did. And hopefully you stay symptom free. But how have you been doing with your classes? Have you had to make any huge adjustments for this?
To be honest, it's felt pretty similar than how it did before I was in isolation. So I have 2 hybrid classes and the rest of them are fully online. So for the hybrid classes, say I have a class Monday, Wednesday, and I go in person on Monday. Since I'm in isolation, I can just be online Monday and Wednesday. And the teachers have been pretty good about uploading recorded lectures and stuff like that. So honestly, it hasn't been much of a change. How was it for you when you were quarantining?
It's same for me pretty much because it was last semester and we had already kind of gotten into figuring out how to make classes more online. Just it's always good to increase communication with your teachers and get everything, set up for that. What has been the hardest part for you so far about being in quarantine?
The hardest part I would say is just kind of feeling so trapped in my room. In order to fix that, I've been kind of going on walks because the weather has gotten a lot nicer. And I also am allowed to leave my room to get food and stuff from the dining hall. So that has been nice. But yeah, the hardest part has probably just been being trapped in my room because it's sometimes a little bit hard to get schoolwork done when I'm always like relaxing in here and stuff like that. So what was the hardest part for you?
Yeah, being isolated is tough. For me, it was just hard that I was missing my roommates because I had 3 roommates at the time, but we all had to go our separate ways when we were in quarantine. And I was missing them a lot. So I recommend for you and for anyone else who's in your situation to just give someone a call, even though you can't be with them in person. It's always good to reach out in any way that you can. Um, what are you excited to get back into once you're out of quarantine?
I'm excited to go back to my in-person classes and like you said, to just be able to see my friends again and use all the facilities here at KU. So yeah.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for everything to get back to normal, but luckily all of my teachers have been doing a good job at making it feel as normal as possible.
Mhm.
Well, thanks for joining us, Brooke. I hope you have a good rest of your quarantine and stay symptom free.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Good evening, I'm Lauren.
And I'm LaDeja. This is your morning good evening KU news update. Millions of Texans are still being impacted by the severe winter storm that left them without power for days. The extremely low temperatures damaged the state's water infrastructure, leaving many Texans without safe drinking water. Many cars lined up outside the distribution sites hours before they opened.
Retired U.S. Senator Bob Dole began treatment today after being diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. The 97-year-old native of Russell, Kansas received a personal visit from President Biden this weekend to wish him well. Dole was Gerald Ford's running mate in the 1976 presidential election, and as the Republican candidate, he lost to Bill Clinton in 1996.
KU's annual fundraising day brought in more than $3 million last week. Now in its fourth year, the one-day 1KU event included a $1 million gift to benefit the KU Alzheimer's Disease Center. Another gift of $10,000 came through Facebook and benefited the KU School of Medicine Salina campus.
In sports, the men's basketball team ran in its winning streak to 5 with a 67-61 victory over Texas Tech on Saturday in Allen Fieldhouse. All 5 starters scored in double figures for the Jayhawks, led by David McCormack's 17 points and Achaya Baji's 14. Redshirt freshman Jalen Wilson also recorded his 8th double-double. After the game, Coach Self said he felt good about how the team played.
Yeah, I thought we played well. It's the best we played. We actually played better offense than what we scored because we missed a lot of good looks that I really think that we should make a higher percentage. I thought CB and Oach and Jalen collectively, they got off 23 threes, if I'm not mistaken. And, most of them were really good looks. So I thought we did some good things. I thought Dave was great. Marcus was great. And Bryce and Juan were good off the bench. We did a lot of good things, and we guarded. And, they really guarded us. And I thought we handled their pressure pretty well. So I'm leaving out here feeling the best I've felt in a long time about this group.
Next up for the KU is a visit to Austin, Texas for an 8 p.m. Tuesday night matchup against the Texas Longhorns.
The women's team took Texas Tech to overtime before falling 99-98. Sophomore Harley Kurtzgeter scored 29 points and grabbed 16 rebounds, while guards Zakiya Franklin and Anaya Thomas added 20 and 17 points apiece. Tied at 86, all with under a minute to play in regulations, the Jayhawks took the lead on a Thomas three-pointer, but the Red Raiders would answer to send the game into extra time. After falling behind by 9 points in the first 2 minutes of overtime, the Jayhawks fought back and even had a chance to win. But a non-foul call on Kurtzgeter was the final play of the game. The women will host Texas on Wednesday at 7 p.m. in Allen Fieldhouse.
The baseball season is underway, and the Jayhawks are off to a good start after taking 2 of 3 from South Dakota State this weekend inside U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. After splitting the first 2 games, the KU Bats came alive on Sunday in a 13-1 victory. Next up, the team will head to Fort Myers, Florida next weekend for 4 games against Florida Gulf Coast.
In other sports, the tennis team knocked off Arizona 6-1 on Friday at the Jayhawk Tennis Center. The softball team sits at 1-3 for the season, with the weekend tournament coming up in San Antonio. The track and field teams will head to Lubbock, Texas for next weekend's indoor Big 12 championships, and the volleyball team begins its spring season with a Friday night contest against Xavier.
And finally, following health and safety protocols, the KU men's golf team withdrew from the Desert Intercollegiate Tournament because of a positive COVID-19 test. The team, who is leading the tournament after the first day, will halt all activity until March 8th.
And that will wrap it up for today's news update. After the break, Kaylin will be here with the weather.